Welcome to World News. Today we dive into the heart of Eastern Europe to unpack the situation in Crimea. Nestled on the northern coast of the Black Sea, Crimea is more than just a picturesque peninsula. It's a region of strategic importance, a flashpoint of geopolitical tensions. Now let's wind the clock back a decade to 2014. This is when the region, historically a part of Ukraine, was annexed by Russia, a move that sent shockwaves around the globe. This act, considered illegal by much of the international community, has led to a state of ongoing tension between Russia and Ukraine, a tension that reverberates far beyond their borders. As we peel back the layers of this complex issue, we find that the situation in Crimea is more than just a territorial dispute. It's a saga woven with threads of history, power, and national identity. As we delve deeper into this issue, we see that the situation in Crimea is more than just a territorial dispute. Stay with World News. Now, we turn our focus to the current state of affairs in Crimea. It's been a decade since the annexation, and the region remains a hotbed of political tension. The living conditions in Crimea have been largely impacted by this ongoing strife. The economy, once thriving, has taken a significant hit due to international sanctions, with many businesses forced to close their doors and unemployment rates rising steadily. The infrastructure, too, has been affected. Despite some efforts at modernization, the region still faces challenges in areas like transportation, electricity, and water supply. These issues, coupled with the harsh economic climate, have made life increasingly difficult for the citizens of Crimea. But perhaps the most pressing concern is the situation regarding human rights. Reports of arbitrary arrests, enforced disappearances, and restrictions on freedom of speech have been rampant, drawing international condemnation. The indigenous Crimean Tatars in particular have faced significant persecution, their culture and rights under constant threat. The impact of international sanctions on the region cannot be understated. They've not only crippled the economy but also isolated Crimea, making it difficult for the region to recover and move forward. The residents of Crimea continue to bear the brunt of this geopolitical standoff, with no clear resolution in sight. Stay with World News. The international community has not remained silent on the issue of Crimea. Let's take a look at how different countries have responded and what potential solutions they suggest. A chorus of voices from around the globe has risen in response to the situation in Crimea. The United Nations, for instance, has taken a firm stance, expressing deep concern over the ongoing crisis. The organization has consistently called for respect for Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity, reinforcing these points through a series of resolutions. Major world powers have not been idle either. The United States, the European Union, and other nations have imposed a range of sanctions on Russia. These punitive measures aim to pressure the Kremlin into reversing its actions and to deter other potential aggressors. On the diplomatic front, there have been numerous attempts to bring the parties to the negotiating table. These efforts, however, have often been met with roadblocks, underscoring the complexity of the issue. In terms of potential solutions, many propose direct negotiations between Russia and Ukraine, facilitated by international mediators. Others suggest a more comprehensive approach, incorporating economic incentives, security guarantees, and respect for cultural and linguistic rights. Yet despite these proposals, a solution remains elusive. The crisis in Crimea is a puzzle with many pieces, each more intricate than the last. It requires not only political will but also creativity, patience, and a deep understanding of the region's history and dynamics. The path to a peaceful resolution in Crimea remains fraught with obstacles, but the international community continues to seek a way forward. Stay with World News. In conclusion, the situation in Crimea remains complex and fraught with challenges. We've covered the current state of affairs, the international responses, and potential solutions. It's clear that there are no easy answers, but understanding the intricacies of the situation is the first step towards any resolution. Remember, the world is an interconnected web, and what happens in one corner has ripple effects across the globe. The international community plays a crucial role in resolving conflicts, and each one of us is part of that community. By staying informed about global issues like the one in Crimea, we can contribute to the conversation and hopefully to the solutions. Knowledge is power, and in this constantly evolving world, it's our responsibility to wield that power responsibly. It's not just about knowing, it's about understanding, engaging, and acting. So let's continue to educate ourselves and others, sparking dialogues that can lead to change. Stay with World News as we continue to bring you comprehensive coverage of global events and issues. Until next time, stay informed and stay engaged.